We're joined this morning by Greene County Mayor David Crum, who is with us to discuss Monday's meeting of the Greene County Commission and update everyone on the latest happenings in county government. Mayor Crum, as always, a pleasure to have you here.
Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Greene County.
Well, this past Monday, the commission meeting, not a lot on the agenda for a typical meeting, but the one item that pretty much dominated the discussion during the meeting was the proposal that was out there to make a change to the property tax rate, and that was voted down by a 17-2 margin, and an amendment and then the original resolution both voted down. Just kind of explain how that kind of came about and how state law pretty much would have precluded any action being taken.
It was voted down, and there really wasn't much of an option other than for it to be rejected because, as you say, by state law, we develop a budget and then develop a tax rate to support that budget. That's done once a year. This year it was passed in July. The year before, as you know, we were really under the gun to get one, but it has to be done by October and submitted in to the state for their approval. That in order to do that, so we've set a tax rate, and once it's set, we can't go back and adjust that once it's all been approved. At this point in time, you've already got tax notices that have been mailed out, so it was something that really just couldn't be done even if we wanted to, because we've already done it once. We've taken action on this. We've done it, and we'll take care of it again next year.
That's right. And the other part of that, an amendment that was added that was under consideration too, was to have it go into effect for the next fiscal year starting 2016, 2017. But that's not really possible either based on how the budget and the tax levy is determined. Correct.
We've got to develop the budget and see what's needed, and we talk about maintenance of effort and some of those things that are required to maintain services, and we've got two areas that are going to continue to take some serious look at are solid waste and the roads. Those two fund balances are perilously low there, and are precariously low. They're just really funded down to about nothing at the end, especially in solid waste. We're still looking at some areas where we can save some things in there, but the wheel tax, people say, well, did it not take care of that? Well, as we had a balanced general fund this time around for the first time, there are multiple funds within our budget. So the fund balance on the general fund was balanced, but it's been unhealthy for a number of years, so it did not build that up and improve there, but it got us back to zero.
One area that's eventually going to be helpful too is the debt service. Eventually, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's one more year where the debt service is fairly heavy, and then starting maybe like 2018 or so, that kind of starts to really decrease, and that will help the county a lot.
It will. That extra money that was put in there, instead of having to transfer or borrow money and some things that have been done in the past, It will free up some finances there, and there's not any big projects that we're looking at. We've got some buildings and things, though, that are showing some age and showing some weather. The courthouse and some of those are showing some things, but we don't have any big projects that we're looking at. And we just got our Moody's rating, and it took we didn't change the primary rating, but it did change some kind of concerns that they had that will help us if we run into an area where we can refinance some of the bond that we have. But yeah, we kind of are peaking in that, and it will help a little bit in the next few years to get that debt paid off.
Are you determined, if at all possible, to not issue any more bonds right now? I mean, with the road situation and the fund balance in the road fund and the solid waste fund, I guess the easy solution would be to just issue a bond and generate money that way. But I guess that's probably either a last ditch or not even something you won't even consider at this point.
I just really have developed over time the like what the state does, pay as you go, because that bond is costing you interest that you're having to pay that could be put even as low as cost of money is now. It's still money that could be put in there, and by paying as you go, you've kind of got that process in place instead of running out and trying to either maybe have to buy some additional equipment to get stuff done within the lifetime of that bond and things. That I just think it's better to pay as we go, the way the state does, to look at it, and if we need to put some additional, if we can find it to put in for the asphalt for paving and things, because our roads the last couple of years have been tough on them.
Switching gears to talk about one of the other items that was on the agenda from Monday's meeting was the idea of transferring some property that was formerly the Clear Springs Community Center building, and transfer it over to the Ruritan Club. And it was voted on and passed, but as you since found out, there might be a little snag in those plans.
We did. A different attorney that was representing the Ruritan had brought in, and what we found is actually looks like Clear Springs Community Center may still be active. As we went back, they called. We do post our agenda and everything on our website about 10 days ahead of time, but quite often until it runs in the paper after the fact or they hear it on the radio, and that was the case. So Clear Springs called, so we're going to have to get with them and the Ruritan, and I think the Clear Springs Community Center kind of is represented somewhat by the church, to come up with a resolution to them on how we want to divide that up. So we'll have to revisit that actually next month on that transfer. I think we can all come to a good agreement between the Ruritan and the community center and everybody to do that.
Another item that was going to be revisited at some point in the future has to do with the energy savings contract, and you alluded to that at the end of the meeting about the current contract that you have with the group is there's just some it's not working out the way that you had hoped, and you might want to take another look at it.
We are that did some energy savings, a major project a few years ago, and did borrow some money to do that. Change some lighting, change some windows, heating systems and things. And that's been completed, and there was a long-term contract and some agreements in that at the end of the life, if we didn't meet the expectations in the energy savings, they would do some reimbursement. Well, we are going to save some money. In the long run, it probably was good. If you look at replacing windows in a 50-year-old house, you're going to save money on energy. If you look at the newer, more energy efficient lighting and stuff, but there was a long-term contract. We were going to pay $7,500 a year, and they were going to monitor that program. And I just think that we can do that as well as paying that $7,500. And some of that equipment and things that was bought is we're having some problems with, and that we're going to need to probably do some maintenance and repairs and things. And I'd rather have that apply toward that than I would apply toward a contract that tells us how much we save, because our maintenance people can monitor that every day, and we can do that and use that money for something that we would need it for better.
Town administrator of the town of Greenville, Todd Smith, was at the meeting on Monday, and he talked about the idea of having a joint meeting between the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, county commissioners, and the Housing Authority to talk about the tax increment funding that's available now that the general mortgage ends. All the work that was done using that is kind of going to be wrapping up. What projects or what's in mind with this? How is this going to affect the county?
How it's going to affect the county is going to put about $21,000 a year into the general fund that had been going to pay some of those TIF bonds and things. That goes back a ways, as you say, to the redevelopment of the General Morgan. They're looking at some other projects. That TIF can be expanded into general downtown area by the by those, and so all three entities has to be in agreement to end that. But the bottom line is it's going to generate some revenue into the county general fund at about $21,000.
Now, does that fall under the split that the county and city has as far as income goes, or how is this income? Where is this going to be coming from? Is this from taxes that is going to be paid by the General Morgan Inn?
Yes, you got that.
Okay.
So that will come into us, and so it's positive for us.
And that meeting will take place sometime in December, I would imagine, maybe at the next commission meeting, possibly.
Yeah, that was my assumption the other night, is that we would just have the joint meeting at the commission. I had got a text last night asking, the concern, because the next commission meeting is December 21st. And, that being Christmas week, I think one of the aldermen was concerned that a lot of people would be on vacation and things. I don't see it affecting us having a quorum at our commission meeting for us to look at changing that or doing something special. So we'll continue to look at that still at our next commission meeting.
The county received a letter the other day about a project that's going to be beneficial. It's called a Community Development Block Grant, and there'll be some money that'll be able to use to extend some water lines. Just explain a little bit about what's going on with that.
It will. We First Tennessee Development District helps us a lot with these projects and other things, and we make those grants through them. If you look at our budget, we contribute based on population some main to First Tennessee Development District, but there are a lot of grants and other opportunities for economic development and stuff that filters through them from the state level and the federal level. And the community development block grants were one of these things I had to learn about. That we've got thousands of dollars over the years to help with water line extension projects, and in this, Glen Hills is finishing up one, and whenever it's finished, then they'll be able to move on. And that's what this letter, and it has to make the community be aware. So put in the minutes that on that application and for those extensions of funds.
One other thing that was put into the minutes was some of the minutes from the Greene County partnership meetings, and a lot of times those kind of get lost in the shuffle, and people wonder about what exactly is the partnership doing to help out and develop. You hear people say, well, we're working on stuff. There's a lot of things we're doing behind the scenes, but there's a lot of stuff that they're doing in front of the spotlight as well, and so many activities and so many events. You think about the Festival of Trees that's going on right now. That's a Greene County partnership idea. That's something that they're working on. There's so many things that they do to produce things for the county and for the citizens, and to try and generate support outside the county as well.
It is, and that's one of those things. I'm on the executive board, but also on the partnership board, and we meet monthly, and wasn't sure if it had always been in there, but one of those things I've been trying to put in, just those dates to remember that you can meet where we have meetings. Keep Greene Beautiful's 3-mile walk. Household hazardous waste program comes through Keep Greene Beautiful, which is part of the partnership, and we had that thing about a month ago. So there's and you mentioned Festival of Trees, and they work with the Christmas parade that'll be coming up, and so put that in there just to kind of give a little bit of idea of what all is going on at the partnership. A lot of things going on there all the time.
So a lot of stuff to keep people busy with, and a couple of things are going to be coming up here on the other side of Thanksgiving. Certainly we turn our attention then to the Christmas season, and one of the truly enjoyable events of the year is the Christmas parade. And last year was the first time you got a chance to walk it as the county mayor. And I know where we saw each other. That's right there on West Main Street, that last hill there. It's got to be, having walked all that way from Bohannon Avenue, I'm sure that by the time you get to that point, it's the home stretch isn't much of a home stretch at all.
It's a fun day. I think our community really enjoys the parade. It has a huge turnout in the Greenville parade, but you have the Mohawk parade is one of those that's really fun. Mm-hmm. For us, it's a small, real community parade, but it's just a real fun event to go down and walk that one, and it's really laid back, and it's a fun event. And of course, on the first Friday night, will be the lighting of the Christmas tree there, and I guess there's a lot now. The first Friday is kind of one of those things that the community is pushing, especially the town of Greeneville, to have some events down there. So I'm sure there'll be a lot on that first Friday of December.
Absolutely, and stay tuned. Of course, any events or activities that take place in throughout the county or in the town of Greeneville, we'll certainly publicize those. They'll be on our community calendar page or on Channel 18 as well. So anybody who wants to know what's happening throughout Thanksgiving and certainly through the Christmas season can stay tuned and find that out. One other thing to touch on quickly, it was something that was announced a couple weeks ago that someone who's a very integral part of the budget process for the county, the finance director, Mary Shelton, announced that she'll be stepping down from her position.
She is. She's not handed me a letter, but we've talked since I'd been around, and she'd looked at a couple different dates there and decided she'll be looking at the end of June. I'll be asking budget and finance because that is an integral position and very responsible, asking budget, finance, and the commission to allow us to go ahead and bring somebody in a couple months ahead of time to be able to review, because all the grants and just the budget process and closing out and those things, to where we'll be looking to bring somebody in to make that transition from Miss Mary into whoever the next person is. She and I have talked about some of the qualifications she feels is necessary for that position. She'd like for it to be somebody with a CPA for that type of experience in county government or city government. That government accounting, as she says, is very different than industrial accounting and some of the others. So that won't be requirements, but it'll be one of those things that we do look at as far as those qualifications, is who can best fill that position to move us forward at the county in that very key position in county government. Anything else that you see coming up here that the folks may be interested in knowing about, or activities? Like I said, we're 1 week away from Thanksgiving now, and it's hard to believe that it kind of sneaks up on you like that. But for an event like that, for a lot of people, I know that Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays of the year, just for the fact that you're able to spend time with family and in some cases good friends, and just engage in fellowship and just remember what we're to be thankful for everything that we're blessed with. It is. Thanksgiving's one of those holidays, I think, that is a little more relaxing than Christmas. Seems really hustle and bustle, and did I get this person a present? Did I not that one? And did I forget somebody? And we don't want to hurt any feelings, but Thanksgiving's just kind of that time you join together with family and friends and watch a lot of football, and maybe get out and even toss one around and some things. One thing I do want to maybe mention, and maybe we need to focus on different aspects a little bit, Jim, is our animal control. We had a very big meeting a few weeks ago with people at Animal Control that were upset over some euthanasia of some cats down there. And we met and discussed that, and our animal control facility is a kill facility. And I tried to make that point that animals leave there one of two ways. They either adopted or euthanized. We do very good with the rescue groups at working that. But, think about that also whenever it comes time and you start thinking about those Christmas presents of giving an animal is a long-term commitment, and making that selection, and look at our humane society and our animal control as to where maybe we can adopt from them rather than from just the breeder, and then have problems, because I stop in down there every couple of weeks, and they've always got some great pets that would fit in with the family and that forever home. But making a pet is an expensive, long-term proposition. So just kind of want to mention that as the animal population is whenever we start coming up for the Christmas season and thinking about those, and that those guys down there have a thankless job. I mean, they have to deal with animal complaints and things all the time, and I really support them in what they do, and they have a good heart for animals too. Absolutely, they definitely do.
Well, I hope you and your family have a wonderful Thanksgiving and have a chance to relax a little bit for a couple days and get geared up again for the Christmas rush as it is. But again, thank you for everything that you do for us, and we appreciate it. And we hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll be back again in December to get prepared for Christmas.
Thanks, Jim, you and your family in Greene County, and we're going to go down Thursday and help Cedar Hill deliver some meals. So we're going to get out and be in the community a little bit. So everyone have a great Thanksgiving and prepare for a wonderful Christmas season.